And good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
We hope you turned your clocks to the right time. Did anyone have any issues getting up?
No, you know, I think that's one of the wonderful things about technology, isn't it? With our cell phones and our atomic clocks, we don't even have to worry about it because I forgot about it. And then when I got here, I thought, oh my gosh, am I late or am I on time? And my phone and my clock did it all on their own.
It's funny because every year at this time, or in the fall too, I go around singing, "If I could turn back time."
Somebody sent me that yesterday, and I said, no, we're turning forward. We're turning forward.
Actually, yesterday about 4 o'clock, I started saying, you know, tomorrow it's already 5 o'clock. It's 6 o'clock. Oh, tomorrow it's 7 o'clock. I can't wait for it to be lighter, darker, or lighter later.
Yes, it's always a little bit of an adjustment, isn't it? Our bodies, you wouldn't think that 1 hour does it, but it does. It does take a little adjustment.
Well, welcome to the table.
Yes.
Thank you.
You've been with us before?
Reverend Dr. Aileen is here with us today.
She's not new. She's been part of the family here before with us.
Yes, agus gomana dia.
Cool, cool.
And that was Gaelic.
Gaelic.
She's our little Irishman at the table.
I am our Irish representative today. This is our week. This is the week of St. Patrick's Day is on Wednesday. And so you might have noticed the shamrocks behind us, and so why we wear green.
We're doing the wearing of the green today for the Sunday celebration.
Yeah, so have you ever wondered why we wear green?
Why do
we wear green?
Well, you know, as an immigrant from Ireland, you know, when I came to the United States, I asked the same question: why does everybody walk around wearing green? But there is a song called "The Wearing of the Green" because Ireland is, if you know where Ireland is, it's the most westerly country in Europe. It's an island surrounded by water and lots of rain. So it is a country that is extremely green, and the scientists have shown that there are actually 40 shades of green. And I don't know if you ever remember a song by Johnny Cash. He wrote 40 Shades of Green. There is a song.
Really?
And he wrote it when he was in Ireland. Hopefully it was him, but if not, forgive me.
I was thinking green grass at home.
It was somebody, but yes, so green is the most predominant color that you'll ever see in Ireland. So if you're flying in over Ireland and look down, it is spectacular.
I have been to Ireland several times. I have family in Ireland. I have a great uncle who still lives in Ireland, the southern tip of Ireland.
Oh, which part?
McSweeney's.
Do you know which part?
I'd have to look at the map.
I'm from the southwest, so I might
Oh, we may be cousins.
We could be. We could be.
Ireland's one of the most beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go to Ireland, the first time I went, I spent like 18 days. And I didn't do a tour package because lots of times people want to go to a country and do a tour package. I love just flying by the seat of my pants, renting a car and just going. I drove all over Ireland, north, south, east, west, on the 3 major highways they have. It's like a triangle. And I have to say, I like the southern part of Ireland. Sorry, Northern Ireland folks, but I love the southern part of Ireland. Actually over the northern part of Ireland.
Because that's where I come from. I'm actually, for those of you at home, I am from Ballycaman, Tunafulla, County Limerick, which is right on the Limerick-Kerry-Cork border, right on the gateway to the west, the Dingle, the Ring of Kerry. And it's probably the most visited, well-known part of Ireland, and lots of great movies are made there. So.
I stayed in a castle over in Galway, I think it was. Beautiful, on this beautiful big piece of property. And I was laying in bed one morning, or one night, and just kind of looking up at the ceiling. And I thought, this building is literally 140 years older than the country that I am from. And there was just such an energy in Ireland. Just gorgeous people, lovely people. Hospitality is just through the roof. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. If you ever get a chance to go, pack up and go. And tell our folks she said hello.
Yes. Yeah, and my grandfather, my maternal grandfather's grandparents are from Ireland. But I never knew what part until I did the DNA test.
I did that.
And they're from Cork.
Yes, that's where the area. See,
so that's what my blood
connected.
says. That's what my DNA says
well,
anyway.
It's a huge black, I just went blank, Spanish-Irish territory.
There is.
Because my great-grandparents migrated from Spain through Southern Ireland to come to the States and changed their name a couple of times.
Yes.
And
yeah, Ireland has probably been because it is an island, it has always been, invaded over the many, many years. And so seeing as this is spiritually speaking, and so, the Irish people have always had a great spiritual tradition, the Celtic tradition. And when St. Patrick came to Ireland in 432, the missionaries and all of that, it became Christianized. But a lot of the Celtic traditions are interwoven into the Christianity. And the Catholicism that I was raised with in Ireland was actually different from the Catholicism I experienced here in the States. And I do want to tell you there's a very strong connection between Native Americans of the United States and Ireland, because Ireland during the famine period, which was in the 1845, it was the Native American, I believe it was the Choctaw, the Cherokee tribe that sent money over to the Irish people at that time who were starving.
And the Irish people have a beautiful monument to them
Cork.
to thank them,
Cork.
to thank
In
them
Cork
for that.
City.
It's beautiful.
And so beautiful feathers, and so there's a lot of interconnections. And I lovingly say this, so I don't want to offend anybody. We have a saying in Ireland. We say we are like weeds. The plant we grow and shoot up everywhere in the world. Meaning you can go anywhere in this world and you will find somebody from Ireland. So there's just this, this innate sense of adventure, travel, exploration. You can go as far away as Jamaica and you'll find an Irish pub. That's a lot of the celebration that goes on at Sunday.
I have to tell you, actually a quick funny light story. We went into a shop one day on the west coast of Ireland. Actually, no, it was one of the small islands off the west coast of Ireland. And we walk into the shop and there was another couple behind us. And so when we walked in, the lady said, "Oh, we have some Americans here. Wonderful, welcome. We love you all, yeah." The couple behind us were from Great Britain. And she said, "No, we're from London." And the lady went, "Ugh."
Well, I'll tell you that, in being from the Appalachian Mountains, there are a lot of Scottish and Irish immigrants in the Appalachian Mountain area. And so there are a lot of people with mixed heritage, Cherokee and Scottish, Irish, or Scottish or Irish, or Scottish and Irish and Cherokee. And that's me. I'm Scottish and Irish and Cherokee and English. My dad is English. And a lot of people say they're Scot-Irish. And in the Highlands, actually, in Abingdon, Virginia, they have the Highland Games, and it's the largest Highland Games in the whole United States because of the number of immigrants there in the Appalachian Mountains. So I was wondering, well, what is Scot-Irish? What does it mean? Because my papa always described himself as Scot-Irish. So I was like, well, what does that mean, Scot-Irish? Scot-Irish. So I started doing research, and it turns out that the Irish immigrants were well known to be hard-working people. And everybody loved to have the Irish people come into their community because they were hard workers. The Scottish had a little different reputation. They had a reputation for drinking and brawling. Drinking and brawling.
Yeah.
So a lot of the Scottish people would tell people they were Scot-Irish so they could take a little bit of that good reputation of the Irish immigrants, and so that they could get jobs, because people wouldn't hire you if you were a Scotsman because you had a reputation. But if you said you were Scot-Irish, they'd hire you. So I was like, I never knew it either. So that was interesting to know. A lot of people in the Appalachian Mountains say they're Scot-Irish.
Fascinating.
Have you been to Kentucky?
Not yet.
Kentucky, I lived in Kentucky for a short while. In Kentucky, when I went to Ireland, I realized why there was such a large population of Irish folks in that Ohio Valley area. And I'm from the Ohio Valley area. Because Ireland and Kentucky look just alike. Those beautiful, soft, rolling hills with that green, blue-green grass. And there was something amazing in Ireland that I saw was the structure. If you need to go. It's one of the most. I've traveled a lot of places. One of the most beautiful places. But I was standing on one hillside over here, and there were stone fences built on this hillside on the other, and it looked like someone had painted a grid on that. I thought, how did they build that so perfectly straight from this viewpoint? It's amazing. Ireland is absolutely amazing. I learned that the knitting in the sweaters, every piece of the cording angles is family. Yes. The fencing, the family styles. It was amazing. And also what I loved about it is they built homes there for generations to come. Unlike we built homes like the Three Little Pigs did. They build stone homes, beautiful homes that they intend to pass down through their family here. We're lucky if our homes here last through the mortgage.
Yes. So, and you know, so now back to spiritually speaking.
Yeah.
I'm going to share with you that Reverend Aileen and I met when I first came to this community, and I was doing a class on the goddess. And I did a goddess series of classes for 6 weeks, and each week was a different pantheon of goddesses. And so I met Reverend Aileen, and I asked her to help me teach the Celtic Goddess Week. And oh, so amazing, such a rich heritage.
And yes, and what I love about it is, you know, when I immigrated to America, I was very homesick. It was a huge change. But I realized, oh my goodness, there are so many Irish people here. And I do have to say, as an immigrant to the United States here now over 30 years, I don't have that longing or that homesickness because technology. I now can see my family. I can actually Google Map. I can see exactly the farm where I grew up in. I actually tune in. Even last night, an aunt of mine, she died this week, a very elderly aunt. She was in her 90s. And so I actually am able to go in and see her funeral, you know, because it's now, but they're completely locked down during COVID, but I can see it on Facebook, and I can connect with the church that I was baptized in.
Wonderful.
And had my Holy Communion and confirmed and all of that. So I'm very grateful for technology that brings Ireland to me anytime I feel I need a fix.
Brings you to Ireland, because I look at the analytics on who's watching our service, and we have a large contingency in Ireland, and I know a lot of that is your family.
And they're all going, oh, what is she up to now? I send out a Christmas letter every year.
Wait till today.
And wait, well, let me tell you, the response I get, oh my, does she ever stop? She's always, because I've been an educator
and no, she
all
doesn't.
my life.
No, she doesn't.
And one response was a lady sent me a New Year's card late in January, and she said, after I read your Christmas letter, seeing everything that you're doing, I had to take a nap because, you know, I'm facing that next birthday, you know, the 60, and so people think, oh, you should be just retired, and once I joined the spiritual community and Reverend Temple Hayes, and she found out I used to do some Irish dancing, she doesn't let me stop, and sometimes I felt like a couple of years ago, oh, it's time for me to just give up my dancing shoes and whatever. And if you know anything about our spiritual community and the importance of expressing and growing and changing, and that and in the shamanic tradition, they will always say, when you stop dancing is you stop living and hoping. And so I want to say thank you to all of you at First Unity for just keeping me dancing and creating sensations back at home when my family goes, oh, Lord.
And you will get to see Reverend Dr. Aileen with her dancing shoes on just in a little bit on the Sunday Celebration Service, where we're celebrating Irish heritage today.
So, yes. I don't know what else I can say about that. I don't know what I'll be doing. I'm always changing and growing and morphing into my best self. And that's what I think the spiritual teachings, when I found unity, you know, several years ago in Texas, I knew I'd come home because I found myself in a spiritual community that encouraged me to grow, not to feel shame or blame, which is those of us who were raised Catholic in Ireland, we were raised with a lot of shame. So I'm very proud to say that thanks to First Unity, to New Thought, that I don't have that anymore. And you know what? I will lift up my heels and dance, and I don't care what anybody thinks.
You are a beautiful spirit expressing.
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
We encourage you to freely express the God within.
Thank you.
And that God's within each and every one of us and each and every one of you watching us at home. So we hope that if you've tuned into this program or our Sunday morning program, that you're touched and you're filled with the light of God, or just awakened to, because it's there all the time. Just tap into it. We love you. I guess we need to.
Yes. So go grab your coffee or your tea, whatever it is you like to do. Run to the potty and then come right back.
Or walk
and
to the
we
potty.
will be live on service.
Yes.
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 Slán go fóil.
Exactly.
Slán agus beannacht.
So remember this one thing: we love you, we always will, and we do not take you for granted.
Thank
Have
you.
a blessed day.
Thank you.